Okay, these binomials have numbers in front of the variables. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and show you the three different methods, or remind you of the three different methods to multiply binomials. Even if it's got negative numbers, it will work. And then I will let you decide which method you prefer. So on the first one, I'm going to use the distributive property. I'm going to take the negative 5y and distribute it to everything in the other set of parentheses. So you multiply the numbers. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. You total up your letters. So I have 1y here, 1 here. That's a total of 2. Then you go to the next term. Negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. And for that set, I just have 1y. Okay, now I'm going to do the same with the negative 2. So negative 2 times 3 is negative 6, and there's a y. So watch where I put that. I'm going to put that with my y's. You want your letters to match up with your exponents. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. So for my y squareds, I have negative 15 of those. For my y's, a negative 25 and another negative 6 is a total of 31 negatives. And then bring down your negative 10, and that's the answer. That's called the distributive property. Now on the next one, there is a negative 4 in front of the binomials. So I'm actually going to save that for last, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Now I said there were three methods for multiplying binomials. So the next one is the Punnett Square. I'm going to take the first binomial and write it horizontally. Notice how I spaced it out. The next one I'm going to write vertically, and again space them out. The reason you're spacing them out is because you're going to make a rectangle under each one and separate the terms with horizontal and vertical lines. Now for this method, you are multiplying up and over each time. So x times x is x squared. So then I'm going to go up and over. 8 times x is 8x. And for the second row, you do the same thing. Up and over. 3 times x is 3x. And I'm going to go up and over. 8 times 3 is 24. Now these two in the middle can be put together. So right now I have x squared, and then 8x plus 3x is 11x plus 24. However, remember that negative 4 that we had at the beginning in front of all the binomials? You've got to multiply your final answer, everything, by negative 4. So negative 4x squared. Negative 4 times 11 is negative 44, and I've got an x. And the negative 4 times 24 is a negative 96. So that was the Punnett Square. The first is the distributive property. The second is the Punnett Square. You could have used this also using distributive property, but for this type of problem, you've got to remember that whatever's out front needs multiplied back in at the very end. So I usually put a box around it so I don't forget to do that. The final method for binomials is called the FOIL method. It stands for first, outside, inside, and last. First, F-O-I-L. So first terms, negative 3 times negative 5 is 15, and I have an a here and an a here. That's two a's, which means a squared. The outside, negative 3 times 2 is negative 6, and there's just an a. The inside, 7 times negative 5 is negative 35, and there's just an a. And the last, 7 times 2 is a positive 14. The two middle terms can go together. So I end up with 15a squared. For my a's, negative 6 and a negative 35, that's a total of 41 negatives. And then I have plus 14, and that one's finished. So that, again, was the FOIL method. The first method was the distributive property, and the second method was the Punnett Square. You can choose which one you prefer.